All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Oh! This is the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys didn't see Deadpool 2 yet?
No.
I have not seen it.
It's so good. It really is.
Thank you for Ryan Reynolds that.
I really,
You can't even say that
like
10 times
Deadpool.
fast if I
Reynolds.
paid you.
Yeah, you can.
Ryan
Reynolds that.
Yeah, wait, he keeps doing these like buddy cop type movies. He just did the one with Samuel
Hitman's
Jackson.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was all right.
It was
I watched
entertaining.
it. It was
Yeah,
fun.
I didn't love it, but it was entertaining. He's great. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's good in everything I see him in, dramatically or comedically. I think he's very talented, you know, from The Proposal to Buried. I thought he was really good in Buried, that movie. It's all him buried alive, and that's it. It's like a one fucking location. It's crazy. But
I feel like people expect him to be funny though.
yeah, but he
that's
wasn't
really
funny in that
where-
movie. He was not
No,
funny
he
in
wasn't.
that movie.
But he did like the Amityville Horror remake,
Yep.
which was all right.
Yeah, but Deadpool 2, it's as good or better than the original. It really is,
Which
a
is
lot of fun.
surprising.
Yeah,
the original
it's-
is good.
The original is really good. It's really fun. It's fucking hilarious. There's some great scenes in it, but it's not just like an Austin Powers 2 where you're just rehashing the same jokes.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. It's got a whole nother storyline going on. There's crazy other shit happening. It's not relying on the tricks from the first one to make the second one work.
Is it weird
So,
that
thus
Josh
bringing
Brolin
us
is the bad
to-
guy in that, and Josh Brolin is the bad guy?
They
in
reference it.
Infinity
They
War?
reference it as a joke.
Oh, spoilers.
No. It's in the trailer.
Oh, isn't it? I
Yeah.
haven't watched any trailers
okay,
for,
okay.
for
Are you
serious?
Deadpool
Oh.
2,
They
yeah.
reference
Which brings
it.
us in the title
Because he breaks
today.
the fourth wall all the time. It's great. But it really works. I mean, there's some fucking great shit in Deadpool 2. We actually got to go see it, guys. Like, seriously, I'd go see it in the theaters again. There's some really funny stuff in this movie.
I don't know why I wasn't motivated to see that.
I
think it's just, I think Infinity Wars.
It's better than Infinity War.
No, I'm just saying it's just the whole hero things. I can only
I
do
get it.
so much.
But Deadpool, I feel like, is
how
its
I
own
feel.
thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like Deadpool is its own thing. It really doesn't.
It really
it's not the
does.
same as the superhero movies. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
It really is very different, and I liked it more than Infinity War. Even.
Until next Infinity Wars, where they needed a couple more jokes in there, and they bring in Deadpool.
No, Deadpool's not part of that world. He's part of the X-Men world. That can't cross over. It can't. They've already had.
There are portals out there that
No.
does things.
No,
okay?
but the thing is, they can't do that. They've already had Quicksilver in the X-Men universe and in the Marvel universe, different actors with
This
different
is
backstories.
Hollywood.
They can't do it. They
can
can't
do
cross over now.
anything.
they can do.
They won't do it. It literally, it can't
Anything.
They
violate that.
brought Spider-Man
They can
from
do it.
Sony.
The reason why they work is because
can-
they acquiesce to
You're
the
like-
fans' wishes.
Dude,
You piece
you're
of shit!
shaking.
Are you
All
kidding me? They can't do it!
They brought Spider-Man
Listen
from
is
Sony.
mine.
I am the law.
Put in a new actor.
Judge Dredd over
Actor
here.
did
That's right.
incredible.
Yeah,
They can do it.
They're not gonna do it.
Yeah, they can do
They'll
it.
put
I don't know
Deadpool
if
in
they
Incredibles
will.
3 before they put him in the next Avengers.
I don't know if they will do it, but I'm just saying, like,
They can do
anything's
anything.
possible.
Yeah. They can mix it with Harry Potter. And
Yeah.
next Fantastic Beasts 3 with Deadpool.
You guys
That would be
haven't?
cool.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Did you see the Instagram with Logan? Like
Hugh Jackman and
Hugh
yeah,
Jackman
yeah.
and Deadpool.
Yeah.
They can do anything.
They could. Okay, so rewind real quick. Deadpool 2 is going to inspire this topic, right? Because I'm saying, you guys haven't seen, but I'm saying that Deadpool 2 is as
better, a
good or
sequel?
better, yes, than the first movie. So I think we should be doing.
I have my first one.
So this topic is going to inspire us to bring on Deadpool in this topic because Deadpool is
you know, you got to think through your words, man.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
No,
You'll
it's
get
good.
it.
This is an audio
I'm not
medium.
going to have Deadpool inspire this topic.
Yeah, Deadpool
Well,
2.
no, I felt. Did you like Deadpool?
The first one.
I like Deadpool. Yeah, I thought it was it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Okay, so the
So if Nick's
second
saying that it's as good,
as good
or better
than the first one.
I
Absolutely.
trust it.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna go see it.
trust
We're gonna
them.
go see it. We're gonna go see it. We're gonna figure out a time to go see it.
But I have my first movie.
Okay, well,
my
the
first
topic
sequel.
we gotta say the topic we're doing is sequels that were better than the original, minimally as good as, but we'll say better.
I have
than
the
original.
instant. The
Good.
instant.
Okay, good.
I mean, there's a bunch actually.
Kick it.
Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And
You asshole!
some people will disagree. Actually,
Yeah.
some people think Alien is a better film than Aliens.
I think they're very different, and
They
I
are very
really like
different.
Alien a lot. But Aliens is an elevated sequel.
Yes.
I feel the same way about Terminator 2 and Terminator.
I do too.
I think
yeah.
the first
Terminator
one's
2.
so good, but it's also so different from the second one. The second one is an elevated sequel,
Yeah.
but the first one is so good, it's hard to basically think that it's worse, quote unquote, than the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Dark Knight, Batman
Yeah.
Begins.
I would also
like Batman
say
Begins, but-
Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Tobey
But
Maguire.
here's the thing.
So
It's
we'll
like,
go through one at a time. I want to talk Aliens.
Just because we say the sequel is better, we're not saying
Saying
at
the
all that
first
the
one's
first one is
shitty.
shitty.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
All.
Yeah.
It's understand that we respect the first one. It was just
Right.
that the second one took it to a whole new level.
Because let's be real, there are a lot of sequels that are fucking garbage.
There are. Oh,
That
my God.
really are.
It's more
That you're
often
like,
than
what the
people
fuck
think.
did they do?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It's sad actually.
Yeah.
But Aliens, I mean, we've talked Aliens a lot in this podcast, but that movie was literally like, I mean, that's a testament to James Cameron, man. He can make a sequel, like he's done that now twice, and it really is very hard to
tyrant.
do it. Yeah,
He's
he's
a
a tyrant.
tyrant.
You just have to be a dictator and a tyrant.
From what I understand, like I watched a whole like 3 or 4 hour behind the scenes making of Aliens.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was like intense. Like he was
Right.
like, he had like, it wasn't a huge budget. He had like, he was trying to get all these shots done. He was doing like special effects work that had never been done before.
Yeah.
And he seemed irritated
Did
a
he?
lot. Like you could see him like
focused.
losing it
I
on
haven't watched
people.
behind
Like
the
they
scenes of
had
that movie.
because back then it
focused.
wasn't good behind the scenes shit. They didn't like pull the actors aside, like hook them up with a nice meal, and then
Right.
have them sit down and calmly discuss.
Nobody
it.
was a big name in that
Like-
movie except for maybe Sigourney Weaver.
These are like camera guys that are just filming the filming while it's being filmed, and James Cameron's just screaming at like a producer is screaming at an actor or something, or being
But
like,
was
do it
he-
again, and you see Sigourney Weaver just like crying.
But
and,
they
like,
have to be in that shit.
know.
They have to be put in the shit in order to fully demonstrate the shit.
But usually
Like,
they don't
he's trying
show
to get
that.
a
Now
real
it's like
performance.
super PR. Like they
Yeah.
will not show a director screaming at an actor or an
Right.
actress to get them in
Right.
the mindset of the character.
Right.
But that happens all the
Listen,
time.
I respect it in terms of the art it creates, but I don't want to necessarily work
Here's
with
the
anybody
thing.
like that personally.
Here's the thing. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of like when you're filming and you're doing stuff like that, it's kind of like a boxing ring where when you're in the ring, you literally mentally you're hating your opponents,
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're doing all you can to destroy that not to destroy
In
that
the
person,
moment.
in the moment to win.
Yeah.
But at the end of the battle, you always see them like hug it out or
Yeah.
whatever, give respect and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the other
I
thing
think
is-
there's moments in films where you do need to bring out fear, bring out certain
Right.
emotions in the actors. You're not trying to hurt them in any way.
Right.
You're just trying to explain to them this is the outcome that we want. This is what we need. This is the emotion.
I think-
emotional
and
perspective.
This may not be as big a deal, but these a lot of these actors and actresses who get this pressure put on them are getting paid a lot of fucking
Yeah.
money to be there,
Yeah.
and a lot of money to imbue that emotion or that reaction. And I'm like, that's your fucking job. If the director has to like, pull a Don McTiernan and like say 1, 2, and like drop you in that
Fucking Alan
scene
Rickman.
without or
Exactly,
Alan
yeah.
Rickman,
Hans
yeah,
Gruber.
John
Yeah.
McTiernan,
John McTiernan was the director, yeah.
but dropped Alan Rickman without telling him. He's like, all right, we're gonna drop you on 3, and then he drops him on 1
2
or
or
something,
1, yeah.
and he just like freaks out, and he's like, did something go wrong? Am I gonna, and he
But
gets
then the
perfect
actor's
shot.
usually happy to have gotten the shot. I mean,
Yeah.
some I'm sure are
like,
hurt.
you tricked me,
But that's what I'm
motherfucker.
saying.
Like,
It's-
But it works.
It's a
Yeah.
totally
Some
different
like to be put in that pressure.
perspective. It's
Yeah,
a totally
I
different
would.
perspective
I would
between
want that, yeah.
the
I
actor
want-
and the director.
Yeah.
When the director is doing that, the actors, they know that it's a job. They know what the director is doing. So as we as outsiders are trying to see, oh my gosh, he's being so mean and rude.
Right.
No, the actor gets it. The actor understands.
For the
I
most
see-
part, I'm sure there's some that don't
I'm-
and have a problem with the directors, but some are like, hey, that's just what it fucking takes. You get this idea that Leonardo DiCaprio is willing to fucking go through that shit and
Yeah.
have somebody put him through that shit
A lot of
because he knows it
actors are,
reflects on him at the end, and if it's a good product, he's like, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Now, part of the problem is you have some outsiders or people who look at it and go, it's just a fucking movie. I can't believe you think it's okay to be like that or do that. It's just a freaking movie. I'm like, okay. Some people take movies very seriously, and then some people just
lot
look
of
at it as a
people.
popcorn, whatever thing that is
Yeah.
not important. It's not real life. It's not, some people go like, politics is important, but arts and films is not. And I'm like, you know what? I venture to say fucking art and films are more important than any shit. Take any of that shit out of your life and take that out of the world.
Yeah.
And it would be a dark, bleak world. I mean, what are we fucking fighting for if we can't have things that fucking reflect ourselves and entertain us and bring us out of this bullshit? If you couldn't read books, if you couldn't watch film.
Well, in a weird way, that's
see
like
stories.
In a weird way, you guys. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember that movie? No, I agree with them because you remember that movie, The Man from Earth?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to
Hold that
spoil
thought,
the
Diego.
movie, but
Yeah.
the whole concept is you have this guy who claims to be like 12,000 years old, like he
Yeah.
hasn't died since
Right.
like the caveman times or whatever. And so your immediate assumption is, oh, this guy's a genius, like
Right.
he knows everything. And then the guy, the actor or whatever, is like, he explains like, no, I just know the best that the society knows. At any given time, he's like, I'm not going to be an all-powerful wise man.
Omnipotent,
Yeah, like
omniscient
as
being.
societies rise and fall, he's like, I learned the best that they learned,
Right.
and then I move on. But
And I
it's
forget
like,
certain things. And,
yeah, and
you know.
but that's like film. If you think about film and books and any type of media where you're getting information on like where you're not experiencing it directly, but you're getting like this, you're experiencing something without actually doing
Right.
it. And that's what film gives you. Like you watch as a kid, you watch a movie and you like see a guy stick a fork in an outlet and get electrocuted and you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like there's all these things that you learn that you take for granted that you get from film and books.
Absolutely.
And all these lessons that you learn without having to actually experience it or making that mistake that someone else made.
Right.
And people take all of that shit for granted and just think it's all bullshit and fluff. And I'm like,
Right.
no, it literally educates you in
Yeah.
a way that most people just don't really
It's
recognize.
true. So I'm actually in the middle of reading Aristotle's Poetics, which is the first thing ever written on the subject of like structure for plays and what eventually became for movies.
Oh, I have that book. Yeah.
3-act
Yeah.
structures, right? It's like all that stuff: comedy, tragedy.
Do you have the red cover version of
No,
it?
I read it online. I'm like halfway through it.
I'll
I don't
give you
have
the
the book.
I'll give you the book.
All right, give me the book.
Yeah.
That's
This
fine.
guy's digital books.
Nah, man.
You
ain't
literally
nothing like
do
a hand-
everything digital. you
Ain't,
piece
ain't
of
No,
shit.
nothing
I
like a
buy
handheld
real
book.
books.
Ain't like,
You're
I have
missing the point.
handheld
Support
book.
chopping down trees.
You're missing the point.
All right, anyway.
You're
Flip the
missing the
pages.
point.
I know, it's always
Anyways,
diverted.
Aristotle's
So,
Poetics.
yes.
He talks about this concept of acting, right, which calls
Yeah.
imitation. He's like, that is more basic and native to a person than we first realized. Like, if you look at it, that's how we learn. When we're really young, when you have a toddler, I have a 3-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah, they see-
the way she learns how to walk, talk, move, what's right, what's wrong, danger
Acting.
is by imitating
Yeah.
older people that she sees and acting. She has to act her way through it. At first, it looks ridiculous. She tries to walk, it looks ridiculous. She does the same motion you do when you're washing dishes, but it's like for nothing.
Yeah.
But it's for learning.
She hears a word, she
That's
tries
right.
to say it, and then she keeps doing it over and over until she
That's right.
perfects that ability.
Exactly. And then later on, movies, like I watched movies at a very young age. So there were certain things that I knew or was able to do or understood before people at my same age because they weren't watching movies like
Yeah.
I was. And I remember certain people going, how'd you know about that? Or how'd you know this thing? Or how'd you know that thing? I was like, I saw a fucking movie that had it in it.
Yeah.
And like even history type
Yeah.
stuff, I learn it through movies. Like I learned about Mozart at a very young age because of Amadeus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's not
Yeah.
something that most people would learn about until they're like teenager or their 20s. I was like, yeah, Amadeus, Mozart, da, da, da. I only knew as much as that movie taught me, but it
Yeah.
still was like I knew
People that
something about it.
dismiss
It's a lot more
film
than-
are
yeah.
just don't understand.
It's
like,
true.
they're not-
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I learned so much from that movie, and then it also made me want to go look for more and understand.
Yeah, there have been
more
many
about
films
it.
that I've watched where I then decided to go get the biography on the person or go get the novelization or something about it to find out more because I liked the story so much. I was so
Exactly.
interested.
Oh, it's,
Right.
it's not even about the person too. You see certain errors and you want to
Yeah.
learn more about it. And you think about too
Inspiration even.
Sci-fi
Inspired.
has inspired so much things. I mean, I know we make fun of Star Wars versus Star Trek, but in Star Trek,
It's inspired people to go
inspired
look.
people is inspired a tablet.
Yeah.
It inspired a tablet.
The imagination
It's true,
was there
yeah.
was created by the artist, either the author or the person who created the movie or TV show, and then the scientist, the actual guy who could figure out the science of it, goes, "That's interesting. Let's see if we could do that in real life." And then they actually come out
Yeah.
with it. Like that's inspired by the artist to begin with. So it's very dismissive of people to go, well,
The irony
it's just a movie.
Yeah, we have
it's not that important.
The HTC Vive, which
Yeah.
is like the VR with like sensors
Correct,
in
yeah.
your environment, like things you hold in your hand so you can see like your
holodeck.
hands in the
The
thing. And it's
holodeck.
like the
The
fucking
fucking holodeck.
holodeck.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Fucking
this is
holodeck.
Totally,
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually incredible. So when people are dismissive of movies, I'm like, you're saying that very glibly, and I feel like you should step back and really look at it for a moment. Even people who aren't big on movies, think about your childhood. Think about certain things that occurred and how you were inspired by something in a movie, or touched, or learned
Yeah.
something. It's not as stupid or silly as you might think. It's
We
actually
totally
more
derailed,
important. Totally derailed.
You totally
Important point.
But
We
this
had
is
it-
a
we had
great
a
derail. This
grandstand.
may have been the
Yes.
greatest derail ever.
This has been the most learning and educational
We went off the
derail.
rails into a
Yeah.
chocolate
So
shop
it
or
was a
donut
needed
shop.
demon.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Anywho, but by the way, I was laughing earlier on. It's just because he hit the point. It's like I think if. To me, first experiencing things live is always first for me. But
Yeah.
movies are secondary to me of a learning experience.
Right.
So yeah. So all right. So
Another sequel.
my sequel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring one up because I was just researching it and I was looking. I was like, oh wow, that was a sequel. Was Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, it totally was. Well, it's kind of a sequel.
sequel to-
Manhunter.
No, it is. Manhunter was the first one,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a kind of sequel, meaning it's from the same books and like they did all that. But I don't think it was as a cinematic thing. It was a direct sequel to the first movie. Brian Cox
The
played
prequel
Hannibal.
is out there now.
Huh? Yeah, they did an actual prequel. Like they did Hannibal Rising later on. They did Red Dragon.
They did Manhunter.
Hannibal. They did Manhunter, but no, Manhunter was renamed.
It's on Netflix.
Isn't?
It's
no, that's Mindhunter. You're thinking of Mindhunter, the show that came out last
No, there's
year.
Manhunter.
Netflix.
No, I'm not thinking of Mindhunter. I'm thinking
Neil,
of Manhunter.
get in on this.
Pull it up. Get in
What?
on this. Get
He's
in on
saying Manhunter
on
was
Netflix.
redone and it's on Netflix.
Get in on
no,
Manhunter.
Manhunter was Red Dragon or whatever was actually the remakes of Manhunter. Wasn't it Hannibal or Red Dragon were the remake of Manhunter, the Brian Cox?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but he's saying there's a Manhunter. It's called Manhunter, but now I said, no, it's Mindhunter you're thinking of.
No,
which
there
came
is
out
a
last
movie
year.
called Manhunter.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
86
Yeah.
with Brian Cox. But he's saying they remade it and it's called Manhunter. The
Or
remake.
Mindhunter.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's all fucked up.
Mindhunter is
is a
on
show
the serial
that was a
killers.
serial killer that
No,
came out
I'm
last
talking
year.
You turned me on to Mindhunter. It's on Netflix.
You did, exactly. You turned both of us onto it. He showed us the first 10 minutes.
I know
What's
what
his
you're
name?
talking about.
Not
But
David
Red
Lynch,
Dragon, I
it's,
think, was the remake of Manhunter. Was it Red Dragon or Hannibal? Was the remake of Manhunter?
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon.
Wait. Yes, Hannibal is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal or Red
Rising
Dragon is the prequel.
And then Hannibal Rising was the prequel where he was like a
Yeah,
young.
Red Dragon. He's like Hannibal's barely in the movie, right? I mean, it was based on Joseph Fiennes, who was this crazy killer guy.
Joseph
And then
Fiennes, like
Ray
Shakespeare in
Fiennes.
Love.
Ray Fiennes.
The actor.
No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking
The
of
actor, Ray Fiennes.
Yeah.
Okay, you said it like it's based on Ray Fiennes, the serial killer. I'm like Ray Fiennes.
No,
is
he
a
plays the serial
He
killer
plays
in
the serial
Red
killer.
Dragon.
I thought you were trying to say that he
Ray.
was an actual serial killer in real life. It's based off.
He
a
might be.
serial
I
killer.
don't know.
So
I don't know these people.
I'm not thinking of Mindhunter. I'm thinking of Manhunt on Netflix.
Which is not a remake of
Which is
Manhunter.
not.
Yeah. okay.
And I thought it's about the Unabomber.
Yeah, the novel, Red Dragon,
okay.
the novel was
Yeah.
originally adapted into the film Manhunter in 86. So Red
Yes.
Dragon is the remake of Manhunter.
Exactly,
That's why I'm
yeah.
saying Manhunt, like Silence of the Lambs is not technically a sequel of Manhunter because it's considered a different chronology. They just made they made Manhunter, they made Silence of the Lambs, and then Red Dragon, which had Anthony Hopkins in it, was technically the sequel to.
It's technically
A
enough to
prequel
be
to
a
Silence of the
sequel,
Lambs.
and I'm gonna keep it as my.
Well, we'll
sequel.
keep it in, but it's not really a sequel.
It's
to
my
Manhunter.
sequel. Stop
Silence of the
saying
Lambs
it's
is
not.
a
It's
sequel to
sequel.
Manhunter.
It's a sequel.
All right.
Neil, you got me on
It's a
this.
sequel.
I'm out
Take
of
a
it.
side. You
I
know
feel
that.
like
All right, I'm gonna name
you guys
another
are
one.
arguing just to argue.
It's like,
it's fine.
saying
Science
Hunt
is
for Red
sele-
October is a sequel to it's like saying Patriot Games is a sequel to Hunt for Red October. That's the exact same analogy, and it's not.
I'm not saying
Because they
that.
both
No.
no, but
Patriot
they're both
Games is
named-
not a sequel to Hunt for Red October?
Would you say it is?
No.
It's-
I wouldn't
it-
even
it's-
think
it's-
that.
They
it's
take
what's
place
his
in the
face.
same universe, but they're not direct
No,
sequels.
it's the same character. It's the same.
I mean-
Alec Baldwin plays the same character as Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but it's not a sequel.
From the
it's same
loose
novel-
connection that Manhunter,
Manhunter.
is about Hannibal and is
I'm just
written
saying I
by the
don't think
same
it's a
guy,
sequel.
same author for
know.
both stories.
I know.
They're not. It's not a direct
It's like
sequel.
saying Tomorrow Never Dies is a sequel to Doctor No. It doesn't
I
really
see what
feel
you're
like
saying.
that.
Like
That's
it's
what I'm
not the
saying.
full sense of the word sequel.
Yes.
but it's a partial sequel.
It's a
It's-
sequel
it's-
enough to be a sequel.
They're
It's not a
connected.
sequel.
They're
Sequel is
connected.
Silence of the
supposed to be-
Lambs. Final
It's not a
say
sequel. You
it's a
know this
sequel
to be true.
enough.
Let's just
So-
talk about.
All right, let's talk
just
about the next one.
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, talk about
Let's
Silence of the
talk-
Lambs. I love the movie
great
anyways.
movie.
We can talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it now.
You're cheating.
How am I cheating?
Okay. let's
Listen,
talk about Silence of the
it
Lambs.
puts the lotion its skin. It does what it's told.
Why
puts
did
it
you
in the
say
bucket.
cheating? What am I cheating?
It's not cheating. I just don't think it's a sequel. is what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
all right, yeah.
But no, I actually love the movie, so if we want to talk about it, it's technically a sequel to Red Dragon in a way, because Red Dragon was a prequel.
This fucking
but
guy.
it came out 15 years
So
later.
Manhunter comes out, and then Silence of the Lamb comes out. Then Red Dragon gets made, which is basically a
remake of Manhunter.
A remake of
It's a
Manhunter.
prequel
But
of
that's,
Silence of the
so
Lambs.
how is Manhunter not a prequel?
Because
to
it's
Silence
not
of
done by the
Lambs?
same. It's literally not connected by the same producers. It's not done by the same.
Oh,
might
what
may
does
not
that
even be
mean?
the
The
same
stories
studio.
are connected.
They may not even be the same studio. Like, it's completely separate films
stories.
that happen to have a same character and are novels by
that's
different. By
This
that's what I'm
guy.
saying.
This
You know
guy.
what?
This is too much.
This is-
You understand? You
He's
guys are
saying-
We understand what you're saying.
and you know
Because-
that I'm more right than wrong.
Sure.
Because
I'm trying to say-
Universal took over. It's not Marvel is not a sequel
It's
anymore.
not even done by the same financial.
It's
like,
not-
It's totally different.
because Susan got fired. It's not a sequel.
Well, I see what you're saying, and there is truth to it.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just saying
There's truth
because
to what
Red
you're
Dragon
saying.
came out later with Anthony
can
Hopkins.
have it. I can have it both ways.
Exactly.
You guys are both
Yeah.
right.
Okay, good.
You're both right.
So okay, now that we've talked about this for 40 minutes,
Let's just move on.
Okay,
what
to
is
the
this
thing.
podcast
It's
about?
better than Manhunter, though. By the way, it's better than Manhunter. You're right.
It is-
Silence of the Lambs is better than Manhunter and Red Dragon and Hannibal and Hannibal
I wanna
Rising.
cry.
So you're right. It is a better sequel.
Diego,
if it was
you
a
just
sequel.
can't win. You can't win with this.
No,
guy.
I'm not. It's not even about the win. It's about when he battles. It becomes he goes to his closet and
go for
puts
the
on
body.
his suit.
I go for the body.
And he puts on this.
He comes at you like full on.
His tie. He's taking 5 minutes to adjust his tie.
I work
yeah.
the body. I work the body. I work the body.
And it's fucking hilarious. And I just
And
love.
you're just like,
and it's not even about winning
What
or
is
losing
happening?
because it's literally just the interpretation of how you take it.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah.
But it's just so fun.
I'm in fight mode.
it's so
true.
fun.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, I get
But
into
no,
it.
it's cool. No,
I probably wasn't hugged enough as a child.
I'm just gonna move on.
Okay.
But the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. I liked.
He's stuttering. Oh shit.
no,
oh,
I
shit.
like for a few
oh,
dollars-
shit. He's stuttering.
No, I think I like For a Few Dollars More, which is the second one, because they're not. That's not even technically a sequel either. But I mean, you could. I'll give it to you. No, I'll give it to you.
Don't give me shit. I didn't make the movie.
Because it's a
trilogy.
dollars trilogy, but it goes Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I like For a Few Dollars More.
really? More than a good, bad, and the ugly?
More
That's
than Good, Bad, and the
interesting.
Ugly, and more than Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I know, that's just me.
I mean, they're all good, but I really like that.
Okay,
I know,
I'm-
Good,
okay.
Bad, and the Ugly is good. I just like the second one more than the third one.
It's like the
personally.
ultimate culmination of like all those those Italian
You know-
spaghetti western tropes.
Yeah, but I like
Oh,
Lee,
yeah.
I like Lee Van Cleef's character so much in For a Few Dollars More. He's the bad guy in the
Yeah.
third one, but he's not in the second one. He's a really good guy, and I like his character so much. I was like, this fucking guy is the shit. There's something about him in that movie that just elevated it.
yeah.
Personally, I guess this is the character for me.
That's a good personal thought.
Yeah, but all right, man. God, you're always in fight mode.
No.
aren't you?
Have you guys
I'm
ever-
always in fight
Oh,
mode. Wow. That's a fighting statement
Okay,
right there.
really,
Because
wow.
you're always.
Thank you.
All right, here's one that we'll
have you
both
guys-
agree on: The Dark
Yeah.
Knight.
Oh yeah, Dark Knight, totally. Yeah.
Let's talk about Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight was
So-
just we've talked about this a lot in the podcast, but a big part of it was his choice of the villain. You know,
Yes.
and Christopher Nolan even said recently, you know, those movies were made are about the villains more than they are about Batman.
Yeah.
Like those three movies are about the villains, and the villains are what make those movies. From Ra's al Ghul, played by Liam Neeson in the first one, to Heath Ledger as the Joker in the second, and then Tom Hardy as Bane in the third one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But Heath Ledger's just so good in that first movie that it elevates the entire film.
Yeah.
Beyond that, like not only are some of the sequences just amazing, that whole bank heist in the beginning of Dark Knight is incredible, but just
Even the
his-
driving sequence with the truck, the 18
Oh, yeah.
and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like I'm like, is any of this CG?
Yeah,
like,
I
don't
it felt
even know.
very
I'm like,
practical.
yeah, it felt
Come on,
very practical.
hit me. That whole scene after, like at the end
even
of that
before that,
sequence.
though,
Yeah,
when
I know
he's
for the
just, like,
culmination of that
shooting it,
scene.
yeah.
There's so many great and then when
Oh, yeah.
in the interrogation room scene, and there's just so much great shit in that film. Heath Ledger being the best part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a big part of, like, for instance, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which is another elevated sequel, is incredible. T-1000 was a great villain,
Yeah.
but they cast it perfectly.
Technically,
Have you
Are
guys
you
ever?
going to say technically Terminator 2 Judgment Day is not a sequel to Terminator?
See, the 2 was upside down.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
Have you guys ever seen the Before trilogy?
Oh, yeah, before
yeah,
midnight,
yeah.
before,
Yeah, before midnight,
yeah.
sunset, before.
You talked about it. You
yeah.
talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
actually talked about that in another one.
Yeah. I would say that the sequel to the first one. The first one was, I think, Before Sunrise. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Before
always forget
sunrise,
that, yeah,
before sunset, and
before,
then before midnight.
Before midnight.
Before midnight.
Yeah. Anyway, they're just the whole
Julie Depley
concept
and
is like
Ethan Hawke.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
Richard-
that. I
Richard
love their
Linklater.
dynamic, but like the second one, because they meet like when they're
5-10 years or so.
super
Yeah.
young. Yeah. When you watch the first movie, you're like, this is crazy. Like they're so young, and then you watch the second movie, and it's actually 10 years later.
yeah.
And then these two characters who are fake characters, just you know, like meet again in Paris. Like I thought the second
Yeah.
one was great. How
Yeah.
that whole, and then the third one, they're like married with kids, and
Right. Did you like the second one more than the first one?
I like the second one more than the first one. I think.
And second is better than the third too?
I would say so.
Okay.
I like the third one.
Okay.
But it's a weird thing. You usually don't get films like that where you see the same actors come back 10 years apart.
In a very indie film. too.
Yeah,
You don't see it
very
with
indie.
indies very much.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
you always
they're
see it with
the main
blockbusters
characters.
where they're trying to capitalize.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
maybe like 4 or 5 characters in every movie.
they're
but
very
they mainly
stripped
focuses
down.
on those two.
Yeah, it's very indie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a hard one. Mad Max 2.
Oh, no, that's not hard. Road Warrior
yeah.
is significantly better than the first
The
Mad
first
Max,
one
I
is
would
a weird
say.
movie.
It's not
I
fully
watched it.
post-apocalyptic even. It's
Yeah.
not.
It's not supposed-
It's good. No, I do like the first one, but
He's like a cop.
yeah, he's a cop.
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
pre
not-
lethal weapon.
right. It's 8 years before Lethal
Yeah,
Weapon.
it's Mad
From
Lethal Weapon.
79.
Is
but
it?
it's very.
With no Danny Glover.
Yeah, he's not the same character even. Like, I mean, he is technically, but Road Warrior is really what you come to expect from the Mad Max movies. Like, that set the standard for every Mad Max. Well, there's only 2 more Mad Max movies after that, but
Yeah.
that whole world was really created in Road Warrior, which was only 2 years later. First Mad Max was 79, and Road Warrior was 81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still
Oh, wow,
fucking
yeah.
young. He still has like an Aussie accent in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was so much better than Beyond Thunderdome with Tina Turner.
Yeah, I remember that. I will say, have you guys ever seen the Evil Dead trilogy?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Army of Darkness is what I remember the most.
Okay.
I saw that in theaters actually.
Well, I loved Army of Darkness. Then I became kind of obsessed with those films, so I purchased
Army of Darkness is the
Evil
third
Dead
one, right?
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I purchased Evil Dead 2, and then I bought the original Evil Dead. And then I watched the original Evil Dead, and it's an extremely low budget, like campy, horror movie, and
It's
it's
not even
disturbing.
comedy.
But it's not funny at all. It's
The later
like-
ones are.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will say Evil Dead 2 has a lot of humor and horror mixed in.
And Army of Darkness
And
is
Army of Darkness is
ridiculously
just
funny.
hilarious.
It's a farce. It's like totally.
But it's the best.
Yeah,
it's so
great.
good.
It is really. They just canceled
but
Ash
I will
vs.
say-
Evil Dead.
I know,
Yeah.
it's awful. Maybe Amazon will pick it up or something.
maybe.
But
no,
Evil
they
Dead
have a
2
series.
is fantastic. Yeah, they canceled it.
Yeah,
they just
they
canceled
already
it after
said
the
that.
third
I love how
season.
he just goes researching. We're talking, and then he comes in. I'm like, we already said that. I literally just said it got canceled.
Did you?
Yeah,
He did.
Okay,
yeah.
good for you.
But
I'm
Evil
excited.
Dead, if you guys have watched any of the Evil Dead
Choke you out
films,
with your microphone cord.
Evil Dead 2 is almost in many ways, it's like a remake of the first film.
Is it?
Because they had a bigger budget.
been so long since
but
I've seen those
it's
first
very
two.
humorous.
Okay.
But it is a better film, and then I would say Army of Darkness and Evil Dead are so different. Evil Dead 2,
Yeah.
that I would say Army of Darkness I like more.
Yeah.
But they're so different. I don't know. It's hard to say which one's better. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the first two enough. Like I
Evil
saw
at
them
the
so
end of
long
Evil
ago.
Dead 2, like Ash Campbell actually gets sucked into a portal
Yeah.
with his car.
Right.
And then the opening sequence
Of
of Army of Darkness is
Yeah.
like Ash and
Yeah.
his car falling out of
Yeah.
the sky and like landing in the Middle Ages. and
I just
something,
remember Army
which
of
is so
Darkness.
crazy.
It's just
so
random
fucking
starts.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember we went to the Halloween Horror Nights, the Ash versus Evil
Yeah,
Dead
that was
house?
amazing.
Yeah, they had all these actors playing Ash.
And they had all these can sequences
The
where
chainsaw
like somebody
hand.
would come and they would like blow someone away with a shotgun and you would see the person like on a wire get like
Fly
yanked
through-
back
yeah.
and like fly through a window.
Oh, shit.
And there
they
was
would just
different
keep looping.
different people playing Ash throughout the house, different
Yeah.
versions almost of him.
The
And
last
there
guy I thought was
had
the best.
chainsaw. They had the chainsaw hand. And,
Yeah.
yeah, that was great.
The last actor we went up and like we were talking to him and he was
Yeah.
like responding in Ash in character
yeah.
or whatever, which
that
was
was
hilarious.
great. But speaking of the guy who did the Evil Dead movies, Sam Raimi
yeah.
also did Spider-Man 2.
He did, yeah.
Which was-
Spider-Man 1 and 2 and
Yeah,
3.
and 3, but the second was even way better than the first. That was an
Yeah.
elevated sequel. Spider-Man 2, that was we still say that. I mean, Mike from MDX Pods disagrees with us, but I think Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best superhero
Sequels.
movies. It's something. It just hit me more emotionally than most.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched Spider-Man, I was like, I didn't expect to connect with that character
Yeah.
as much as I did
Yeah.
in that first film. I was like, oh, it's like a comic book movie, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you watch that film, and you're like, Tobey Maguire, like nails it. Like
does.
it felt
He
like
does.
a really
Spider-Man
great origin
revitalized like I think
Yeah, it was X-Men and Spider-Man kind of like.
I think
It was like
kicked
that
off.
I think
point where, like,
Spider-Man
CG
revitalized how you can do superhero movies
Yeah.
and be close to comic books.
Right, but also not alienate people
campy.
who aren't into comic books.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like hokey or kiddie or something
Correct,
like that.
yeah.
But
And-
also CG was that was like the turning point where CG got to the point where it's like realistic enough that it didn't look hokey like Spawn. If you
Yeah.
guys remember
Oh, that was
Spawn,
pretty bad. It
like
was
the
bad.
CG is not particularly
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Man. There's a lot of it.
It's mostly CG,
It's
especially
like
at
not
the
a
end.
bad movie,
Spawn was a bad.
but the
I love
CG
Spawn.
kind of like
badass movie.
No, I
Yeah.
love Spawn, but if you rewatch it today, the CG does not look.
It
good.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
hold up.
recently
or like
rewatched
Lawnmower Man.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
That's a good movie, but like the CG is like not good.
No, it's
Or
really
Disclosure. Remember the CG in that?
bad. The VR,
Yeah, the VR stuff. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
the
of.
little angel guy,
Or Tron.
Tron actually looks good
Tron
still,
still
but
holds
Tron's
up. I know,
different
I'm
because
just
it's so
kidding.
different.
Yeah,
I was
Tron
like,
holds up.
Tron used it differently and used it in a way that worked.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually very. That's a good movie. But what the fuck were we just talking about? Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
Spider-Man 2. But yeah, the CG, it wouldn't work if the CG wasn't up to snuff because all those scenes, especially in 2 with Doc Ock going up the buildings and
Yeah.
and
What's
Spider-Man
funny is
swinging
if you
through
know
the-
Sam Raimi, go back and watch Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Watch Evil Dead 2 and then watch Spider-Man 2. He there's so many like film styles that he uses
really?
in that. Like there's that sequence where Doc is like becoming
Yeah.
Doc or whatever.
He's talking
and
to the
like
things.
there's all these quick camera cuts and like this where it like cuts to like a piece of metal
Glass.
doing or
Yeah.
glass shattering.
where,
It's like,
where you see her
and it's all this-
reflection right before she gets killed.
Yeah, it's just the way he edits and the way he shoots. He does this thing where it's like these really quick like flashes of some asinine like random thing, like a piece of spinning something or a weird shadow, and the camera's like on these insane angles, and it's like and it does this like rap. He did all of that in Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 1 actually.
Oh,
it's
wow.
a very unique Sam Raimi thing.
Really?
Go back and watch those movies. You'll be surprised how similar Spider-Man 2 is to Evil Dead 2.
It's the same film.
It's crazy.
He just made Ash into
It's
Spider-Man.
It's nuts. Like when Ash, there's that, when he's putting on his, he chops his hand off and then he decides to
Chainsaw.
make the chainsaw. Like all of those scenes where you see him like pulling the chain and then doing the thing and
Oh,
twisting
yeah.
and it click, 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 click,
That's
click,
all.
click. And then he's like, it says whatever his catchphrase is, what groovy baby or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like all of that build up, like all of that shit is in the Spider-Man films. All
Interesting.
3 of them.
Yeah.
And
Bruce
it's Sam
Campbell also
Raimi.
makes a cameo in all the Spider-Man
He
movies.
does, yeah.
Bruce Campbell,
which
yeah.
I thought was great.
Yeah, he's great.
They're like best friends. They all went to high school together.
Yeah,
and his brother's
his
in it
brother's in
also.
all of them.
Yeah.
He's J. Jonah Jameson's like assistant or whatever.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
But yeah,
Ivan Raimi or something. I forget his name.
Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi.
Yeah.
Ted Raimi. Yeah.
But I really think that Spider-Man 2, it took that superhero, it brought humanity to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It did. Yeah.
It
And
did.
was really, 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 and I still remember, like the train scene in that whole.
Oh, that's so good.
and
Yeah.
the whole aspect of him connecting
The whole
to.
the
to-
people pulling
yeah,
him through, taking
holding,
off his
and then
mask.
people pulling him through, and
Yeah, or giving
and
him his
everybody
mask
was
back.
like, "We're gonna hold you." It's just it just connected a superhero to human beings. It was just really, like I said, I think
And it was-
that whole Spider-Man. After that, it just went downhill. But
Yeah, I don't know what happened with
especially
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man
That felt
2.
weird.
I thought it was going to be amazing, and it really was.
It
bummed
was
me
disappointing.
out.
Yeah,
It
but
bummed me out.
Spider-Man 2. Really,
I wish he had a chance to do the 4th one because he was planning on a 4th one.
Was he?
Yeah.
Really developed what we see, I think, in Marvel, and I don't even want to say DC. I'm so disappointed with DC, but in the whole Marvel line
Yeah.
today.
The comic book addict.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can do comic book films with a style of a comic,
Yeah.
but not make it like hokey or just too much. You can ground it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I will say, the thing I always thought was interesting, which I don't know when this occurred to me, but in the original Spider-Man that came out with Tobey Maguire, there was a scene where he's like, I remember a trailer came out where they had like the 2 towers,
Yeah.
and he was like, it was like a web or something
Yeah.
in between the 2 towers, and it was there was part of the film. It was this whole sequence where he was like doing something with the 2 towers or whatever, and then 9/11 happened.
Slingshotting through him or something.
Yeah, and they delayed the release of the film. They edited that shit out
Because it
it's
came out in
like-
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I wonder if that somehow what happened in New York City and 9/11 kind of transcended because in the film there's like this whole camaraderie with the citizens of New York City,
Yeah.
and he's like the hero of New York City.
Yeah.
And this is like these films came out like just a few years after 9/11, where everybody's kind of like people in New York are kind of like trying to work together more.
Spider-Man, you
and-
mess with New York. That whole thing.
Yeah,
And that
and, like-
camaraderie was very much a post 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
I know. I was in New York, and that was very much. I don't really remember that kind of thing.
I don't remember it either, but I wonder if like in the subconscious people
Yeah.
were like really, you know, kind of maybe associated it without thinking. or
Yeah,
something
but
like that.
no, I think that really started making its way into cinema and into movies after
Yeah.
that point. And that was, I remember in 2003, I think it was August, there was a blackout on the East Coast. Do you remember that? I think it hit down here.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like a fucking huge part of the Eastern Seaboard blacked out. Some raccoon fell into some fucking grid somewhere up
Goddamn
north.
trash pandas.
Holy shit.
Anyways, I literally was in Long Island at the time, and I was in a basement, and the lights just went out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, I guess a fuse blew or whatever. Went upstairs, lights were out upstairs. Went outside, all the traffic lights are, everything's fucking out.
That's gotta be weird
People
at
are coming
night.
out of the buildings.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually nighttime, but I could see the street, the traffic lights were out and stuff like that. But I got stuck out in Long Island because the Long Island Railroad was down,
Yeah.
and nobody was driving on the roads because all the traffic lights were out, and people were literally going out to their car radios to listen to the fucking news.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. It was like
Wow.
completely. But what was weird? This was about 2 years after 9/11. Everything blacked out. There was no looting, no rioting. New York was known for that. Blackout in 77, I think it was. Basically, so much looting and rioting. It was unfucking believable. And but by this point, this was like post 9/11. People had come together. It was like more of a camaraderie, and just people chilled out. People were walking over the Brooklyn Bridge. People were helping each other out. It was very strange. It was like, this isn't kind of the New York of old, where it was sort of like, you know, backstab, get what you need, get ahead. It was like, come together, work together. And yeah, so I think what you saw in Spider-Man 2, or Spider-Man, or both of them really, was true. I think that was kind of real, reflective of what really happened.
Of what it was, yeah. Great.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Spider-Man 2 was good. Here's one. This is constantly brought up in a better sequel, Godfather Part 2. And we were talking about this. Godfather 2 is really fucking
Great
good.
movie.
But I might prefer the first one more.
I prefer the
But
first
it's weird
one more.
because I say that, but then right when I say it, I almost
Why are
regret
you
saying
talking,
it.
Neil?
Why are you giving just because I haven't seen that third
You
one that
haven't
everyone
finished
said
it.
was garbage my entire
haven't
life? Now you
finished-
guys are like it's good.
It was
so-
nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Nah.
People are just
All I know is that I watched that, like I said earlier, or I don't know if I said it in this one, but in Platoon, when I was talking about Platoon.
Oh yeah.
When I was watching the Oscars, whatever, they gave all the nominations for other films that were nominated for Best Picture of the year. I've never heard of any of those movies, so
Right.
that doesn't mean anything to me that a film was nominated for
It
an
just
Oscar.
means it has something
I literally had
noteworthy. There's
never
something worthy in the
heard
film.
of these other movies. It was like Heather or something, Heather Gone Heather, and I'm like, is this a movie?
Isn't
like,
it funny when you go back and you
This
see
was
some of the movies
nominated with
nominated?
Platoon.
Yeah.
Like, how have I not heard of this?
You
that
have to
funny how that
watch
happens?
3
It's weird.
because it goes back to 1.
It wraps up the whole series.
It goes back to what
It does
1 was
finish
about.
it off
It's
and
about
locks it down.
family.
Like, yeah.
It goes back to being about
Is Marlon Brando
family.
in the?
No, he's
third one?
not. No. But
How would Marlon Brando
I don't know.
be in-
Flashback
he was still alive.
sequences
He was
or
still
something.
alive. Yeah. I mean, he was supposed to be in the second one, which was in a flashback sequence.
He was
at
in the
end of
Isle of
film.
Dr. Moreau. Remember that
Island of
movie?
yeah, which was after Godfather Part 3.
Yeah.
No, Godfather Part 3
wow,
actually
yeah,
jumps
he was.
ahead in time. And because I think it actually was supposed to take place in 1990, whereas the earlier films took place in the 50s.
Yeah.
This one actually, because Al Pacino, they aged him for the film. He looks like an older man.
Yeah.
In the whole film, but
Yeah.
Al Pacino wasn't that old at the time. This was 1990, and it really is fucking interesting because it gets a lot into the psychology of Michael Corleone. Now he's old. He's gone through a lot of shit. He really changed from the first to the second movie. At the end of the first movie, he really remember the beginning of Godfather. He was a military guy. He wasn't involved in the family business. He was a nice guy.
He didn't
had
want
this
to be involved.
Non-Italian girlfriend, Diane Keaton. And no, his dad didn't even want him involved. Yeah, he didn't want to be involved. He goes, "That's my family. It's not me."
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he had to take over. Sonny was dead. He took over. He took care of all the other fucking people that were going to try to backstab him. Fucking had them all murdered like that. And then he became the Don.
And Godfather
And the
2 was
second
about
one,
him.
Fredo.
Yep.
Having Fredo, like that whole fucking scene, the whole Cuba.
Yep.
It was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. Like that whole fucking scene is crazy. And he had
Yep.
to wait for his own mom to die before he can have his brother killed. It's bananas.
It's crazy.
The third one is like years and years of being this piece of shit character taking a fucking toll on him mentally.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. His kids are grown up. He's Diane Keaton. He's divorced from her now.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Him kind of looking back on his life. We should watch it. It's really worth watching.
The third one,
what's
is
interesting?
literally about him trying to. It's like you said, not being a piece of shit, but going into politics and doing something for society, for
Kind of,
his
yeah.
his neighborhood, his area where he grew up with, and that's
He's
what
trying to give back
So
or
he's trying
kind
to
of.
he's
Make
trying to-
amends for all the murders
trying-
he's committed.
Yeah, it's kind of.
He's trying to give back to. He's trying to change what the Corleone family is about.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get out.
Yeah.
But they pull him back in.
What were you gonna say?
Get it? Nobody. What's up, man? Come on, y'all.
You pull me. I try to get out, and they pull me back in.
Boom.
That's
Yeah.
the way
He
you
don't
refer
get
to
it. You know why he don't get
It's
it?
a line from the third. It's a really famous
How would
line.
I get it? I've never seen the
That's
third
my
one.
point.
That's been quoted in other movies.
Yeah.
It's a famous line, but it's from the third movie,
from
which
the
people are it's
third
trash. It's
movie.
literally this famous line. It's from the third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two like memorable parts of the Godfather series. One's the horse on the bed,
Yeah.
and two is that line.
I love the music though from the first one.
Oh, it's so
love
good.
I could just listen to that over and over again.
It's
Like I
really
said, the
good.
third one takes you back to that. It's definitely not as good as the first two, but it takes you back to the first one where it's about family. It's got that Italian feel to it. So
yeah.
you should check it out.
No, I was just gonna say they should make. I mean, this is kind of related, but they should make a film about like the origins of the mafia and how that whole concept came about in Italy before it ever even came to America.
Yeah.
Because we just have all these mob movies
Yeah.
about American gangsters,
Yeah.
but we don't. Nobody really understands. I
Please-
think most Americans don't understand where that
La Cosa
mentality
Nostra.
came from. Yeah, and how that originated
Yeah.
in Italy, because that
Yeah.
wasn't something that's existed for a long
Yeah.
time.
There's been
in Italy.
documentaries on it, and
It
I
came
mean,
from the dictator who was going in like murdering all these
Yeah.
people in these small communities in these villages. What was his name?
Mussolini.
Mussolini. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's crazy.
But it's fun. But Godfather Part 2 definitely touches upon that. It shows them. It
does, yeah, a
like
little
when
bit, yeah.
little Vito escapes and his father was killed the week before. His mother gets killed. He runs off. He escapes onto the ship, gets to Ellis Island. Like that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, it's true, yeah,
Yeah, and
they
it
do
comes
have
through,
that.
and then he starts his own little family mafia to protect his people in Little Italy.
Yeah.
He decides to start doing that. People start
Yeah.
coming there. He does favors. He kills the Don that's there. That's actually like kind of ripping off his people. He's like, no, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to protect our own. So
Yeah.
he kills that guy. I love that fucking scene where Robert De Niro plays young Vito and he's gonna kill the guy during the parade, right? In
Yeah.
that apartment building,
Yeah.
and he wraps the gun in the cloth. And he shoots him through it as a silencer, like a makeshift silencer, and it catches on fire, and he kind of unwraps it.
Yeah.
That whole
Oh
scene,
my gosh,
that
yeah.
was improvised.
Oh,
the
really?
thing caught on fire,
Wow.
and so he just, fucking Robert De Niro was rolling with it like a goddamn pro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great shit in that second film.
I just
That's
want to
the
watch that
thing.
movie again now.
It's so good. I know. I'm getting fucking pumped wanting to watch it again.
But see, that's like, that's part of the thing with a lot of these older films. Like we think like, I think we associate a lot of actors and actresses now with like this like glossy, glitzy,
Yeah.
like, like pansy kind of like,
True.
like you see The Rock and you're like, oh, he's a badass. But in real life, you're like, this
yeah.
guy is.
It was dirty back
I
then.
think- I
it
think
was
back-
dirty. It was.
Yeah,
like,
it was back then. It was like,
The 70s
you didn't know
especially.
that you were going to become a big celebrity,
Yeah.
or you were just making a film, and you were just a guy or a girl who was
Yeah.
who liked acting.
Yeah.
and you're making this movie. I mean, I don't even know if they were getting paid like the money that actors get paid today.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
De Niro was like he'd done Mean Streets and like one or two other movies, but he
But
wasn't.
nobody
anything.
was. These films were being made for like $5 million. Like
Yeah.
nobody was getting a
Yeah.
$15 million paycheck.
Yeah.
Like not most, but a lot of like the big name
Sure.
actors today. Like DiCaprio walks away with $20 million per picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
De Niro actually auditioned for the first Godfather, didn't get it. I think it was either Michael or Sonny he was auditioning for.
Really?
Yep.
it was James Caan that auditioned for.
The James Caan became Sonny. He auditioned.
He became
for,
Sonny, but I think he auditioned.
He's
for-
not even Italian. He was auditioned for
I thought he auditioned for the main role though. Didn't
Michael
he?
as Michael.
That's Michael.
He may have, or he may have, yeah, probably, or Robert Duvall's character. I don't really remember. I remember recently they've been talking about it because it was the
Yeah.
35th anniversary last year.
Yeah.
So I was watching
mean,
a bunch of things. There's so much trivia.
They did
shit
have
about
Mickey
it.
Rooney playing an Asian guy in
Breakfast at
Tiffany's. So I mean, anything can.
If a
This
white
is
guy plays
Hollywood.
another white guy, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, if an Irish guy
doesn't
plays
matter
an Italian,
where
it's
you're-
fine.
Gotta
what
say
your
too,
origins
James
are.
Caan was awesome. In that
He
film.
is.
He is a great actor.
He is a
Sonny
great
was-
actor.
He's one of those underrated, I think.
Totally.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so too.
Remember Rollerball?
Rollerball, yeah, I absolutely
I've never
remember
seen
Rollerball.
that.
It's good. They did a remake of it at one
Yeah,
point.
they did,
But you know,
yeah.
it's funny. Just real quick trivia on the first one. You know that scene where Luca Brasi comes in and he goes, "I'm here to pay my respects on the day of your daughter's wedding." Like that whole and like
Yeah.
Bob Brown was just looking up at him like Jesus Christ. He couldn't get like the guy was such just a big like it wasn't even a good actor particularly.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. It was so stiff with the line. They were like, "Fuck." So they ended up putting the scene in right before that scene where he's out sitting on a bench
practicing.
practicing the line.
Yeah.
Because they were like, fuck, how are we going to get this done? This guy's just
yeah.
like this big thing. He's not getting the line right. Fuck, what are we going to do? And somebody came up with the idea, let's have him practicing the line beforehand as you walk by.
So was that
sitting
like
on
an
the bench.
outtake, or was that him actually? Was that they
No,
told him
no.
to practice the line?
No, they told him, like they had him out there practicing the line.
Oh, because the guy just
on, they
wasn't a
shot
good
that.
actor.
Right, it set up the
Okay.
later scene, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
because otherwise, if you didn't have the practicing scene, it would have been kind of weird or whatever. So, anyways, there's like a whole. There's more to it than that, but there's so much funny, like cool trivia regarding the making of The Godfather, behind the scenes shit.
Because a lot of times you watch a movie and you think like somebody thought everything that you just witnessed, somebody thought that out, wrote it down, and they just filmed it all. And a lot of times you find out that huge parts of a film
On the spot.
yeah, it was like
Improvised.
on the spot. It was improvised, or you found out like, you know, in post production they just re-edited things and make it seem like it went one way
Yeah.
when it wasn't filmed that way at all, or wasn't
Yeah.
intended that way.
Yeah.
Which I think is the magic of film, you know.
It's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Illusion.
Illusion.
We love illusions.
Crazy.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
all,
you
they're
know.
just magicians, man.
They
That's
are.
all they are. They're just
Yeah.
tricking you.
There's so many
modern day
there-
magicians.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many like secondaries or even third film. Like when it comes to Mission Impossible, my favorite
Oh.
one is the third one.
Yeah.
That's
You-
funny.
Third
My
one's really
favorite
good.
is still the first. I
First
like
is
the
really
technical, like the mystery aspect. I feel like they became more action.
Brian De Palma, man.
oriented.
Yeah,
Brian De Palma did
Brian
that.
De Palma. Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this new one. Looks really good though.
Oh, it does look
It
good.
does.
I think this
I-
new one, like the last one, I didn't like that much.
which I feel like you need to revisit because you keep
I
saying
said
that.
the
did,
same
I
thing.
did,
I
I
said I
did.
didn't like it, and you were like, "It's great." And
No,
I'm like,
because I thought it was better than Coast Protocol. Other than
No.
the Burj Khalifa scene, I think the fifth one was a better film, and it reminded me the most out of all the films. The last one reminded me the most of the first one.
Oh my god!
It went back to that kind of mystery noir, kind of spy thriller kind
I'm
of
taking
thing,
that.
and got a little bit away from the gadgetry of shit. The last one did. Rogue Nation.
I need to watch it again. Yeah,
That's
you're
why I
right.
feel like you should
But see-
rewatch because
but
it
see, that's
got
the
away
thing.
from the stuff that was in this
But
other
see,
ones. I
that's-
did like the third one. I think Philip Seymour Hoffman is the best villain of all the movies.
But that's the thing about Mission Impossible. It is about this very sneaky spy techie stuff. That's what Mission Impossible is all about. And I
Yeah.
think number 5 became more of a James Bond film without the tech than it be. And I think both of them, like James Bond film that came out at that point
Yeah.
too, also became more of a Mission Impossible. It was like weird to me because I watched them both. I rewatched number 5, and I still stand
did.
by what I
Okay.
say. It's
You're more of a
look,
visual guy,
I-
anyways, too.
Well, no, I'm very I'm very into the Mission Impossible storyline.
Yeah.
And so to see Mission Impossible has always been about the team aspect, the full team aspect, and how they all come together. And number 5 just wasn't about that for me. It was
Right.
more about just him. It was more a James Bondish.
Really?
film.
Because the Rebecca Ferguson
and-
thing was a cool addition to it.
It wasn't that it
Brought her
was
into the
not a
team.
cool addition to it, but it just didn't hit my top 3 Mission Impossible films.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in which this one, seeing the trailer and reading about what the story is going to be,
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be more of a Mission Impossible film, and I'm excited about it, and I'm happy to go see it. So.
It does look incredible. I just want to just mention a couple that I don't know, just popped in, but
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Whatever you need, Leo gets. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they introduced Joe Pesci into that one.
Born
Yeah.
Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Born
I thought
Ultimatum.
Born
Born Supremacy.
yeah.
They only got better, those ones.
They only got
Supremacy
better.
and then Ultimatum was incredible.
Then they fucked it
Star
up.
Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yes.
Yep, way better than the original.
It's
X-Men
weird.
2?
Like you watch the original, and it's a really interesting, but it's like heavy on the science fiction. I rewatched it recently, and I was like, God, I've completely forgot that like the antagonist is literally the Pioneer satellite that we sent into space.
Yeah.
At the early days of man, and
Yeah.
it like encountered some AI, and then it incorporated it, and then it
Right,
came back to Earth to like do whatever the fuck it was gonna do. But I'm like, holy shit! Like this is crazy. This is like
Yeah.
heady,
Yeah.
sci-fi. And then the later one was more character focused.
Yeah,
I felt
Ricardo
like.
Montalban as Khan.
And then I was gonna say,
How you feel about National Lampoon Christmas Vacation?
Oh, that's a hard one because I really like the original,
Oh,
but the
Christmas
Christmas
is always
Vacation
better.
is so good. No, but the original is really, really, really
is.
funny and good.
yeah, European Vacation. Both of those are good movies, but
the first one's
Christmas
way better than
Vacation.
European even. No, but I'm saying I think I put the first and Christmas equal. It's hard for me.
Really?
Yeah. And when was the last time you saw the original?
It's been a long time.
It's really good. No, like it actually holds up.
I watch Christmas
It's
every
less
year.
family friendly than Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
See, Christmas Vacation is really good, but this one is like younger, edgier Clark Griswold. It's rated R.
Yeah.
First off, it's rated R.
There's a bunch of nudity.
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's nudity. Yeah, there's nudity with what's her Beverly D'Angelo in the shower. But that's besides the point. There's nudity.
there
in it.
now?
Anyways, but no, there's just the comedy in it is really different than Christmas Vacation, but really fucking good. Very funny. John Candy shows up. Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Like that whole scene where he's a security guard at
Wally
Wally
World,
World. That
yeah.
whole Wally World scene when he shows up and punches the moose and then gets the fucking BB gun and holds.
You know what's underrated? The remake that they did.
That was very funny. Ed Helms?
Yeah.
I think,
That was
not
a
as good as the originals,
funny-ass
but I
movie.
laughed my ass off.
That is
Did
a-
we see that
yeah.
together?
No.
Or I saw it in theaters with somebody. Maybe Kelly.
I did want to say Batman Returns. I think Batman Returns is a better movie than Batman with Michael Keaton.
I'm torn between those two constantly, and I don't know why it is.
Sorry, I said it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
not
you
saying
love
that Batman is a
that's
bad
what-
no,
movie
I know,
or
but
that
you
Jack
like Returns.
Nicholson is a bad actor.
The Penguin. And,
Yes,
yeah,
Danny DeVito as the
Catwoman.
Penguin.
Yeah,
I
I
think the
agree.
second one is a much better. You know,
Yeah, it was so
Christopher
dark.
Walken's
It was
in it.
Christopher
Michelle
Walken.
Pfeiffer.
So dark.
Yeah.
It was so dark.
It
I
was.
loved everything about it was dark. Michelle Pfeiffer gets pushed out a window and then she becomes Catwoman, and then there's this whole
Cat's
love
even
dynamic.
nibbling at her fucking fingertips. Is dark.
But
It's
even
like-
that was sad, like the way it ends. Like you want Michael Keaton to like have this relationship
And
with,
she's
with
crying
Michelle
over it,
Pfeiffer,
yeah.
and she's just like she can't. She's like fixated on this revenge
Yeah.
thing with what's his name,
Yeah.
and then she's like Catwoman, so she's like I can't with you,
Right.
Michael Keaton or whatever, fuck, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. And
Right.
then what's his name was sad as shit. Like the Penguin, they show
Danny
him
DeVito,
being
yeah.
born,
Oh,
and his
Cobblepot.
parents just like dump him in
Pee Wee
the sewer.
Herman just dumps him in this fucking
That's true.
water.
Was it Pee Wee
It was
Herman?
Pee Wee Herman played his dad,
Oh my
Paul
God.
Rubens.
That's like, and like it was just horrific. You're like
Yeah.
this, you know. I understand he was a monster, but like,
Cobblepot.
you
No,
know,
but it's their
you just
baby.
put him in a basket and like sit him in like a, a little pond or a stream, and then he
Yeah.
goes into the sewer.
That movie was so fucking creepy, man.
Yeah, it
you
was.
remember just like when he was
Fucking Tim Burton.
running from
Yeah.
fucking mayor?
Yeah, and
then
bites
like
the
he
guy's
was going
nose
he
and-
was going up the stairs and the woman comes and asks him for like his
autograph, and he's just like, you know, right.
and he's just like
He's got those
looking
like
at this
weird
woman
paw hands
and he's
or
like
whatever.
Flappers.
This
Yeah, the
woman
flappers.
is like fucking smiling and like in love with him, and he's just putting this pin on her. Like it was so
Danny
creepy.
DeVito was really good in that
He's-
movie.
It was
So
amazing.
good.
And he actually like they murder that chick, the Snow Queen or whatever she was. Like
Yeah.
remember he he kills her, which I feel like in my mind
He
like
pushes
when
her
I,
off the building.
yeah, like he
What's Snow Queen? Oh,
he
yeah.
makes
The-
it look like Batman did it by like releasing all
Yes,
these bats,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she like
And she falls. That's right. I
off
remember
and,
that from the video game
splats
too.
on the
It was in
ground.
the video
and I
game
was
too.
like,
That's
yeah.
how it's,
Yeah.
But I was like, that's like I don't know.
You know
For some
what's
reason that scene-
crazy is that movie, like this whole thing, people were like, Batman never kills, Batman never kills. I'm like, you ever seen Batman Returns? He literally like sticks dynamite in some guy's fucking pants and kicks him off the thing.
He kills
blows
like
up.
100 people in
He
that
kills like
opening
100 people. People are like,
sequence.
Batman never kills. I'm like, you
And
need
I-
to check yourself.
I love
all
that
right?
it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
We
like
put it
any
in
of
our
those
Christmas movies.
Yeah, you
Admit
give
it.
me like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Batman Returns. Like any of these movies are made like the 80s and 90s, where
Yeah.
it's like Christmas time and crazy shit's happening. Like I love
You
it.
done?
I love
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome.
right,
Anybody got? I mean, I got tons. You know, I can keep.
We
going.
can just keep going.
Yeah.
We should do another one of these sometime.
We should, yeah.
But because
There are a lot of great
time.
sequels.
I think we've covered some of these before too. But like, yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
We'll do a sequel to the
Back to the
sequels.
Future. I know Neil's got to pick 2 and 3, but
Superman
first one's
2?
still my favorite. Superman 2, I like the first one.
Christopher
a little bit more.
Reeves?
Yeah, first one's better than the second
was
one. I
in
do
the
like
first
the
one,
second
too.
one, but I like the first one.
He was in the first one too.
No, I mean, he was in like four. He did four.
Four
right?
of them.
Five?
Yeah, four.
Five.
Four. Quest for Peace was the last one.
What? I thought he
But
did one.
no, I like the first one better than the second one. It's
Really?
Superman, yeah.
I have to watch the first one again.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
re-
which one does he go spin the Earth backwards?
Both of them technically. First one.
The first one, he
But
spins
the
Earth
director's
backwards.
cut of the second one, the spinning the Earth thing was actually used again. It was supposed to be used again, and the director's cut they brought it back. So he spun the Earth in both movies at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should
Director's
just
cut.
do that every time something bad happens.
Seriously.
Oh, and I wanted to say X-Men 2. X-Men United.
Yes, better
I
than
feel
the
like
first
it's
one.
a much better sequel.
Absolutely.
It's just a
X2.
much better film. Like X-Men is a great movie that sets up, and like Wolverine was incredible in that.
Yeah.
And his whole introduction.
But X2 brings it to a whole new level.
X2 was fantastic.
X2,
'cause
I feel like really kind of.
They brought in my favorite.
Brian Singer just like nailed it with
yeah,
that
they brought
movie.
in my favorite X-Men.
Nightcrawler.
Colossus. Sorry. Is it
Is Colossus in
No,
that
he was
one?
in the third one. Oh no,
He was
no,
in
he
the
was
second
in the
one.
second
He
one
was
as
in
a
the
kid.
second
Yeah,
one.
he was.
Yeah, he
didn't
protected
have-
the kids.
He protected the kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they
I
didn't
just
show a
thought
lot.
Brian-
He was more in the third one.
was
I
more in
thought
the third
Brian
one, yeah.
Cox in that was
He
fantastic.
was a
as,
striker.
Striker.
He was
But
very
he's
good.
awesome in everything he's in.
Yeah.
He's like The Ring. He's in fantastic.
And the whole
in it.
Phoenix ending where she
Yeah,
like
that
she,
where
with the
you
water.
just see like it starts to glow, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, what's
Holy
gonna happen?
shit.
But
Yeah.
then when she shows up in the third one, you're like, oh.
I like the third one actually, but it
You
was
like the third one?
I actually
don't even
did.
know if I liked it. Like that's how bad
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was.
I
And
enjoyed
I've
it,
watched
but
it several times.
In rewatching it, it's not as good as when I saw it in theaters, but I enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm just a guy sitting here in front of a movie asking it to like.
I like Superman Returns too. People didn't like that with Brendan.
We've
really
talked
like
about that. I
movie.
really enjoyed that fucking movie. I thought he captured Superman better than Henry Cavill ever did.
Yeah.
And this is where we
And
end the podcast.
scene.
I like Henry Cavill.
All right.
So, all right, guys. Well, check out some of this movie. Let us know what you think, because I think some of these sequels are incredible, and we might do a sequel to this sequel episode. What do you guys?
How many
think?
times can you say this word sequel in a sentence?
Oh, we didn't mention Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, I can keep going.
But
I
yeah,
can,
Empire
I can
Strikes
say,
Back.
I can say Desperado.
Better than El Mariachi?
El Mariachi. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
better than.
Not totally a sequel either, but I do know what you mean. It's the same
this guy
trilogy.
the fucking
of
not-
films.
Quick
totally a
question:
sequel.
Do you
What the
guys think
fuck?
Toy Story 2 is better than Toy Story? Because I do not. A lot of people have said that to me, and I'm like, Toy Story is like fantastic.
Yeah.
And I would not consider 2 or 3 better than the original. I
Yeah,
don't know
a
why.
lot of people like 3, but the first
I'll
one
have
is
to
really good.
rewatch
But
it
the animation of the
like
humans.
it's infinitely better.
Yeah.
All the animation's better in
Yeah.
the sequels.
But I like the original
the story-
more in terms of the toys are still great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I like the first one the most.
I just
I have to rewatch.
And
them
I've
since
watched all
Jaja.
3 of them numerous times recently because my daughter, I bought her the trilogy because she was like watching Boss Baby over and over. I said this recently. I was like, I'm so done. Like I gotta get
Boss Baby?
So I got her Toy Story to watch those.
Get her to
ones.
watch Wall-E. She'll probably love Wall-E.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just that one aspect of Buzz Lightyear discovering that he's an actual toy, and I feel like none of the other films are able to capture
When he sees
like
all the
that
other
kind
Buzzes.
of
Yeah.
there's like that kind of like emotional
Yeah.
moment for these fucking toys. I'm
Yeah.
like, why do I give a shit about this stupid ass? This isn't even real. But like
it also
that,
started that whole 3D animation thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing. I remember when that came out, it was like, holy shit, what is this? I didn't
was
even know they
crazy.
were working on something like that.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
You know what's the best sequel out there ever?
What?
It's the sequel of Neil at the end of every
That's true.
podcast.
He just keeps it
I
going.
love it. You guys
This
try
guy,
to end, and I'm like, no, there's
I
more.
got another
But wait,
episode's worth
there's
of
more.
content.
Let me tell you guys something.
But wait,
I know
there's
you
more.
visually don't see this, but towards the end of almost every 99% of our
Yeah.
episodes, Neil picks up his phone.
And
And I
starts
all of a
scrolling
sudden
through.
become
Starts
invested.
slowly scrolling.
This is his epilogue. Like it's just like a 40-page epilogue. It's like the end of Return of the
Let's
King. It just keeps going. And by the
He
way,
just-
Return of the King.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
To
yes,
me,
you would.
Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite of
Nah,
the trilogy.
it's the rhyming one.
Yeah.
Return of the King is better.
No.
And so he
Fellowship.
keeps scrolling.
I didn't even
and
want to bring it up.
all
I
the
wasn't
knew.
even going to mention
Return
it.
of the King is better. I just kidding. I consider them one movie, personally.
But anyways, check
I
out
know.
some of these sequels. Let us know what. Check out some of these sequels. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you think the first one or the second one is better, or if it's a sequel or not.
Or
Fucking
don't. We
Nick.
don't care.
This
is only for
we do
us.
care.
I'm sorry. I'm totally
Wait, do you
violating
guys
our
think
audience. Are you
Last
serious?
Crusade-
Shut up, Neil. We're ending.
Who thinks Last Crusade is better than Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Oh, I don't
Nobody.
think that. But I do think it's better than Temple of Doom.
Oh, yeah, I do
Yeah.
think it's better.
Good call. All right. Thank you guys for joining us at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. I'm trying to say this really quickly so we can end this before Neil flips on this phone
wait,
again.
wait.
And I'm taking D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
With more to say.
There is more. actually.
We'll do another one later.
There's too many. Too many.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Go.